Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Lily Reads. In today's video, it is Valentine's Day, so we are going to read some Black romance. I love Valentine's Day. Don't let these idiots out here tell you that Valentine's Day is a holiday made up by the white man to get you to go to restaurants and buy stuff, baby. All these shit that they be doing, gambling and carrying on, that none of that ever stopped them. So guess what? Enjoy Valentine's Day. I love Valentine's Day, and I love reading romance books around Valentine's Day. It is Valentine's Day, and it's Black History Month, so we are going to read romance books written by Black people. So I have 4 books I want to read this week. Valentine's Day is on Friday. You won't see this video till Sunday, but you'll get the point. So the first book we are going to read is by Sharon C. Cooper, and it is called In It to Win It. I got this book at the end of last year. I think this cover art is just so cute, and of course, it seems like I'm the only person who wants to read Black romance these days. Therefore, of course, I have not seen anyone read this book, but I am going to read it for you guys in this vlog. Another book is a book that has been sitting on my bookshelf for quite a minute. It is called Some Other Now by Sarah Everett. I don't like this cover. I don't like this cover, and it stopped me from picking this book up, but I have owned this book for so long, and every single Black History Month, I'm like, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to get to it, and I never get to it, but the time is now. I'm excited to read this book. Another book I have owned for a very, very long time and haven't read it, and this is the only book from this author I have never read. I have read so many books from this author, maybe 5 books from this author. Christina Forrest, Now That I Found You. Of all the synopsis of Christina Forrest's book, this is the synopsis that doesn't speak to me. So I've never really picked it up, but now is my time to pick it up. And I actually think I put this book in a 5-star predictions video because at the time that I made my 5-star prediction video, Christina Forrest's books, I had given Christina Forrest a 5-star in the past. Now, since that moment, it has been a while since I have enjoyed a Christina Forrest book. Let's discuss it. The Neighbor Favor gave 3 stars. The Partner Plot gave 2 stars. Zyla and Kai, I gave 3 stars. And is there another book by Christina Forrest that I didn't love all that much? I do not know. Now, I do have the recent Christina Forrest book back there. It's right there. But we won't be reading that in this video. But yeah, so I've read 4 books by this author that I didn't enjoy, but I've read 5 books in total from this author. Is that making sense? No. 2, 3... Ooh, now I'm confused. I've read 4 books from this author. This will be the 5th book. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to read Now That I Found You. And then the last book we are going to read in this video is Finding Jupiter by Khalees Rowe. Don't know what it's about, but love the cover as well. And that is what we are going to read in today's video. We're going to start with In It to Win It. You can see my bookmark is already in it. So I am going to start reading this book in a couple hours, and I'll give you guys some updates. But yeah, let's get on into the video, and happy Valentine's. Hello, you guys. I have hopped on the camera, not to give you any sort of reading update, but to come and tell you I am about to do a puzzle. It is so interesting that I am so into puzzles. I never thought I was a puzzle girl. I always told myself I wasn't going to like puzzles because I usually don't like putting things together. If I buy any furniture or anything that needs to get put together, I give it to my man. If I wasn't with my man, I don't think I would buy furniture that has to be put together because that's how much I hate putting stuff together. And then number 2, once you finish a puzzle, eventually you have to take it apart. There's no real tangible thing after that you hold on to. So you spend hours doing something and then you have to rip it apart. And so I always thought I wouldn't like puzzles for that reason. But actually, it's all of those reasons why I enjoy doing it. A thing in my personality that I think runs throughout my entire life is that I am a completionist. I like to complete things. I like having a task and seeing that task fully through. I am not someone who like starts something and puts it down and then comes back weeks later. Like I like to see things all the way to the end. That's how I'm able to read as many books as I read. That's how I'm able, like when I work out, like if I have a goal, like I want to do a 10-minute climb on the bike, I do all 10 minutes because I know how to see things through to the end. And so like that's what makes puzzles really fun to me. I like starting something and seeing it all the way through. Like as long as you keep going, you will finish. There's no way you can work on a puzzle for hours and not complete the puzzle. It doesn't matter how hard the puzzle is. It doesn't matter. Like you're going to eventually finish it. It's just almost impossible to just be staring at some pieces and not figure out what clicks. And I just enjoy that. It scratches something in my brain. And then we go to the part where I was telling you about having to rip it all apart. I think that's what I enjoy the most. There is something about being able to put a puzzle away and it's like gone that really appeals to me. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I own a home. I have a bunch of bedrooms in this house and it's like I just have a lot of stuff. I wake up every single morning and I just see a lot of stuff. And I see all the books that I have, that's stuff. The clothes that I have is stuff. And so it just feels good to have a hobby that like doesn't take up that much space in my life. Like I can do it and it's done. Like that feels good that, hey, you did it. I like the idea that like it's not something that has to linger all of the time, you know? So I say that to say this, I just really enjoy doing puzzles and I never thought I would enjoy doing puzzles. So I have moved on to 500-piece puzzles. I am doing 500-piece puzzles from here on out for the rest of the year. Because here's the thing, I usually do 300 because 300 you can complete in like one sitting, maybe 2 sittings, and I'm a completionist. But 300-piece puzzles are just too easy for me at this point. Like they take me like a couple hours and I want something a little bit more than that. So I'm going to do 500-piece puzzles from here on out. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the puzzle that we are going to be doing. It's very summer themed, but that's okay. It is so hard to open up puzzles. The only thing I am scared of, I do have nails now. And these pieces are small. Why is this so dirty? Why are these pieces so dirty? I don't know. But I'm about to sit here and do a puzzle. I think I'm going to listen to a thriller on audio. For some reason, when it comes to the audiobook, I like to listen to while doing puzzles. It's always thrillers. Anything else I don't want to listen to, but a thriller, I do. And so we have all of these pieces. I think I'm going to do the frame and then go inside. That is that. So yeah, I'm about to do this puzzle and I will talk to you guys a little bit later. And good morning. I am here to give first updates on In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper. I have read a book by this author. It was called Business as Usual. I will show you it in the next clip because it's upstairs. So instead of putting up a picture, I'm going to go actually show you the book that's on my bookshelf. And I really enjoyed this book. It was shocking. Well, now I have to go like put it up here because I'm going to talk about it. This book was surprisingly good. Like, I picked it up last year, I think last February. I picked this book up, and this book was a solid romance book. No, it wasn't my favorite romance book, and I really didn't talk about it much. But just as far as like enjoying a romance book, I enjoyed this book. So going into this book, I kind of had some like high expectations. I'm on page 100, by the way. So let me tell you what this book is about. In this book, we are following two ex-lovers. Both of them are well off. One of them comes, the woman that we're following, Morgan. She comes from a rich socialite family. And then we have Drake. Drake is a business developer or something like that. And he has a lot of money. So both of them have a lot of money. And they used to date each other in college. But one day while they were in college, Morgan just fell off the face of the earth. She ghosted Drake. And they just haven't seen each other since. It's been like 20 years. So now they are coming back together because both of them want to buy a building. So Morgan does some nonprofit work. And so she needs to buy a building for her work. And then because Drake is a business developer, he wants to buy this building because it has some sentimental value to his family. And so they're both trying to get this guy to sell them this building. And so it makes both of them have to like go in. And so they meet up with each other again because they're buying the same building or want to buy the same building. And you get them coming back together and getting to know each other, what caused them to break up, and you know, all of those feelings. That's pretty much the setup of this book. How am I feeling about this book? This book, once again, kind of just like business as usual. It's starting off solid. No, this is not going to get 5 stars. It's not going to be a 5-star read, but it's going to be a perfectly 3.75, 4-star read. And it's because like it just is working. Like it's cute enough. There's just enough plot. What I'm enjoying about this book though, so our main characters, 100 pages in, have already kissed each other, have already acknowledged they have feelings for each other. And I really, really appreciate that because I am at this stage with romance, because I don't read a lot of romance. I just have such a low tolerance for like the childish back and forth, the will they, won't they. I know that's what like romance is built on. That's a whole thing, but I just don't have time for it. I find it to be silly. So I kind of appreciate this book having this like they've kissed and like they know they like each other, and now we have other obstacles. You're seeing these people build a relationship outside of just lusting for each other. You know, that's what I want in a romance book, because like at the end of the day, everybody gonna end up being together. So I just want, you know, the romance and there to be more. Why these people should be together, why these people shouldn't be together, working through their drama there, and that's what this book is giving me. So I'm really excited to read this book. I'm going to read more of this book, and I plan on finishing it today. It's not a very hard book to read. You can knock out like 100 pages in an hour. Real easy to read. So I'll read this for a couple hours today, and I will finish this book. And yeah, I need to finish this puzzle. I'm looking down at this puzzle, and I have to finish this puzzle. I think I'm going to work on it tomorrow. But yeah, got my coffee. Hello, you guys. It is a new day since the last time you guys have seen me talk about the book. But I have finished In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper. And the last time you guys saw me, I was really warm on this book. I was like, oh yeah, this book is starting off really well. Like, I like the setup for this book. I like how we're in this like second chance romance type of thing. But this book like quickly took a nosedive, like a drastic nosedive. This book is missing like all the elements of like what a romance book needs, like all the character development, all the progressions in their romance. It's just 1 minute like, oh, you left me out of nowhere in college and ghosted me, and then the next minute they're like in love with each other. There was never any like conflict or like, will these two people get together, won't these two people get together, and all the issues they had. So for our main character, Drake, the guy, he's taking care of his 2 siblings because his mom died, so he took in his 2 siblings who are in high school. That was a big issue for Morgan when she was in college. That's a big reason why she ghosted him. Morgan also has issues with her family. She's not that close with her mother. She has issues with her career. There's so many things going on in these people's lives why they couldn't really be together back in the day. None of those issues really get resolved. Our main characters just kind of like get over them. It's just like, oh yeah, you have to take care of 2 kids, but you know what? That's fine. Oh, you ghosted me and like you're unreliable and I don't know if you're going to still be there for me. That's fine. I'll just be over it. Like all the things that could have made this book interesting just go away, and you just like these characters are just like together. And then the reason why this book is called In It to Win It is because these 2 characters are in competition for this building that like that's nothingness. Like literally nothingness really comes of that, and nothing comes of any of that. Honestly, it's not even fun. Like I don't know what happened with this book. And then since I don't think you should read this book, spoiler, she gets pregnant at the end. And you guys know a big pet peeve of mine is people who don't want kids, never thought about having kids, never did any of that. They get pregnant and like abortion is just never on the table. It's almost like even if someone brings up an abortion, it's like you're crazy for even talking about that. Like she went from never wanting to have kids, she never saw herself as the mothering type. She gets pregnant after dating this guy for 2 months. 2 months she gets pregnant. It's just like, guess I gotta have a baby. And it's just like everything just was weird. Like this book just got really, really strange to me. And I'm just like, where are the beats? Like I feel like we are missing the beats that we need to hit. So this book is going to get 2 out of 5 stars. That was a weird one. That was a really, really weird one. It felt like there was something there, but like I felt like the author didn't want to write the book that like they were setting up to write. And so it was just like, hey, these characters are together. So anyways, we are going to move on to our next book, but I gotta go get it. The next book we are going to read is by Christina Forrest, Now That I Have Found You. This is one of Christina Forrest's earlier books. I think this is the second book she published. I think it's the second one. Anyway, like I told you, I've read like 4 books from this author. So I'm excited to get into this book because I like Christina Forrest's earlier work more than I've liked her recent work. So hopefully this one really, scratches the itch because I need some good romance books. Like we can't read 4 black romance books and none of them be good. We got one dud. Let's see how the other 3 pan out. So this is the next book we are going to read. And I will talk to you when I have initial thoughts. Hello, you guys. I am about to head to dinner, get some oysters, get some seafood, little lemon drop, do all of that. But first, I need to come and give initial thoughts on Now That I Found You by Christina Forrest. So in this book, we are in Hollywood. We are following people who are rich and famous. And we are following this black girl. She is the granddaughter of an actress who was really, really famous. But this actress has stepped off the scene. She had some big fallout with her husband. Her husband was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. And her grandmother went on stage and was like, he don't deserve this award, he a liar, he a schemer. And then since then, she hasn't been seen in the Hollywood world. Our main character, she's trying to break into Hollywood. She's getting her breakout role, and her and her school friend, they've been friends for a really long time. One day they are getting drunk and they are talking and they are making fun of the director of the movie she's going to be in. Well, her friend records her making fun of the director, posts it online, and her whole life falls apart. Basically, she gets kicked out of the movie. No one wants anything to do with her. So she is going to try to break back into Hollywood, and by doing that, she is going to be able to, build back up her reputation. But she needs to go to her grandma because she wants to do a role that her grandma once had. It was her grandma's breakout role, but she needs her grandma's permission in order to do it. That's what the director said. So she's going to her grandma to go, ask her grandma, can she do this movie? Well, when she gets to her grandma's house, she sees that there's this boy who is living with her grandma, and she's like, that's weird. And she doesn't know what's going on, but she thinks the boy is like mooching off of her grandmother. So she's going to look more into it. So she ends up talking with her grandmother, and they end up having a big fight. And her grandma goes missing. Basically, their fight was over like who's lonely, who ain't got nothing going for themselves, who happy. Anyway, the grandma runs away and goes missing. That makes our main character and the boy who was living with the grandma they have to go look for the grandma to go see where the hell she is. And that's how this story goes. I'm really enjoying this. I know last book I started off like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, and then it went all the way downhill, but this is good. This is really, really good. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this slow burn, this romance going on with these two characters. I'm enjoying the story about like her trying to break back into Hollywood. It's just going well. It's just a perfectly enjoyable book. Won't be my favorite book of the year. Won't be my favorite book of the year, but I remember enjoying Christina Forrest's book. So let's break it down real quick. We got the neighbor favor, and we got the partner plot, and we like Zyla and Kai. What if I told you of these three books, I think I enjoy Zyla and Kai the best? Now you got this book right here, which I gave 5 stars. I think it's perfect that Christina Forrest. But like all of these books mid, all of these books right here mid. But I deeply dislike the partner plot. Their neighbor favor started off good, derailed to me. And Zyla and Kai, I barely remember. But I keep saying, I always tell my Christina Forrest used to write books that I enjoy. Like I gave her 5 stars. This is more like this book. Like there was just more to her stories. And I feel like Zyla and Kai was a big swing and it didn't fully hit. But at least there was something that she was trying here. I feel like in these 2 books, nothing was even being like tried. Nothing interesting. These are just run-of-the-mill romance books that you don't think about after you finish them. But at least something interesting was being tried with Zyla and Kai. That's why I think I appreciate it more than I appreciate these 2. But like, this is back to like what I enjoyed about Christina Forrest. I hope Christina Forrest, I know I think she's writing currently another young adult book, or another young adult book is gonna come out next year. I don't remember. But yeah, we gotta return back to form of like characters actually doing interesting things and having interesting things to say with each other. But I just want to come and give initial thoughts on the book. And yeah, I'm gonna go to dinner. I'll show you guys what I have at dinner. All you're gonna do is see some oysters and a lemon drop, but I'll show you. And yeah, we will talk some more as I make my way through this book, okay? Peace. Yeah.
What made so unserious?
Hello, you guys. I have a reading update for you guys. I have finished Christina Forrest, Now That I Found You, and I am going to go ahead and give this book 4 out of 5 stars. This was a perfectly enjoyable young adult book about these 2 people, just their lives merging together. It was just cute enough, just romantic enough, and I had a really good time with this book. There wasn't anything all that deep to it. It was just run-of-the-mill young adult book with black kids, and I had a good time with this book. I think this book is well written. 4 out of 5 stars. I am happy I have enjoyed another Christina Forrest book. So now we are moving on to Finding Jupiter by Khalees Rowe. I have already started reading this book, and I'm going to tell you, so far so good on this book. So things are picking up. We have a 4-star. Do I want to go ahead and give this a full 4 stars? The reason why I'm like worried about giving this a full 4-star is because like I think like could it have, it didn't, like, this is not, like I said, it's not going to be my favorite book of the year. It's not a book I'm going to run and recommend to you. Like, I'm not saying you should just go run and read this book. But this book, if this book is on your bookshelf, if you see this book at a discount store, like, hey, you should go ahead and read it. I think this book is better than Christina Forrest's 2 adult romance. I think it's better than The Neighbor Favor. And I think it's better than The Partner Plot. It's simple and it works and it has different elements. It's just a really enjoyable story. Like, you want to know what's going to happen next. It's really short. It keeps you flipping the page. So I'm just like, as far as young adult goes, it's good. But I've read some great young adult books. And this doesn't go in the great young. It's not even my favorite Christina Forrest young adult. So like, if I had to rate the Christina Forrest at this point, this book that I gave 5 stars that I always tell people they should read, I would give that number 1. I would move this to number 2, Zyla and Kai to 3, The Neighbor Favor to 4, The Partner Plot to 5, and I haven't read the next book that she put out, and she is also putting out a book in October 2025, so that's definitely going to show back up in the book club, will show up in the book club because it's a young adult book, and I think Christina Forrest does young adult best. I think that's what she should do. But anyways, we are going to move on to Finding Jupiter. This is the book I'm going to read on Valentine's Day. And I'm excited to get into this. I will give you guys my initial thoughts once I eat a little bit more into it. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Hello, you guys. I am in bed and I'm going to try to finish up my book. I am almost through with Finding Jupiter. So in this book, we are following two young adults and they both are like dealing with tragedy. We have this character named Jupiter who is our girl main character. Her father died and she never knew her dad. Her dad died literally the day that she was born. And her mom kind of have a weird relationship because her mom doesn't like to talk about her dad being dead. And she kind of just doesn't want to deal with it because she never knew her dad. So she doesn't have this like these sentimental feelings for her dad the way her mom does. So they kind of have like a little bit of a toxic relationship. It's really hard for Jupiter to open up to people because she hasn't really experienced like love, especially love from like a man. So like Jupiter likes to hook up with people, but she doesn't really like to do anything more. She doesn't know if she's capable of love. We see that type of character a lot in young adult books. Then we have our main character. His name is, I'm getting his name confused with the character in the Christina Forrest book. His name is Orion. Yeah. Well, hold up. Yeah, Orion. He is a swimmer, and his tragic thing is that his little sister got ran over by a bus when she was 3 years old. So their family is constantly grieving the loss of this little sister. Now this little sister died years ago, but it's still something that affects their family. Their family doesn't really talk about it, and his dad has kind of dealt with the death the worst. He's very like controlling of what Orion does and all of this stuff. So he's dealing with, trying to find his own independence and trying to become the person he wants to be and not the person his dad wants to be. Well, there's this skating party and these two people come across each other. They meet each other and they strike up a friendship and, start striking up a romance. I am going to be honest with you guys. Thoughts on this book. This book is like maybe the most enjoyable romance book I've read in a long time. This is not me saying this book is blowing my mind. This book is just like a perfect Valentine's Day read. You are literally just reading about the romance of these two characters falling in love. There's no real big plot that you're following. You're just literally seeing these characters unpack their feelings for one another and how they should be around each other. You're just going from scene to scene of them just getting to know one another, getting to know each other's love languages, and getting to know the things that the other person wants in a relationship. And it's just really sweet and wholesome. And it's just really cute. A thing I'm really enjoying about this book, the guy main character, a lot of times in young adult books, black young adult male characters, they make him very suave and very, like the cool guy, but he's not that. He's really corny, but I'm appreciating it. It's just really, really cute. And she's more of the suave, popular, pretty, And so you're getting this like offbeat guy with this girl who's a little bit reserved and doesn't really let people in. I'm enjoying that dynamic a lot. This is really, really enjoyable. I thought about putting this book in the book club at one point, and I'm happy I did it. I don't think this book is a book that's really good for like discussion. Like I don't even have that many thoughts for you because it's just a perfectly enjoyable book. There's not a lot going on in this book, but like it's working. And to me it's just the perfect just like romance book that I'm in the mood for reading right now. I also really love the cover, and yeah, every single chapter I'm just like okay. And like at first it did start off a little rocky for me. I'm not going to lie. It was going back and forth between like POVs, but now I actually think it runs really smoothly. I think this author is doing a really good job at like switching POVs. Like the POV switch at the perfect time. It doesn't feel like when you go to a new POV, that new POV is just giving you rehashing what happened in the other POV from their POV. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's continued. The writing is good. Everything flows. It's all just working for me. So I think so far this is the book I'm enjoying the most in this video. And so, yeah, I'm going to finish it and give my final thoughts. And hopefully we can get our first 4-star read. It's not going to be 5 stars, but hopefully we can get our first 4-star reads. Because I'm going to give Christina Forrest 3.5. The first book, In It to Win It, I gave 2. So hopefully this can be our first 3.5. You guys, something very exciting is happening tomorrow. My couch is coming. My couch is coming. I am getting a new couch for upstairs, and once I get my couch from upstairs, I can really turn my loft into what I want my loft to be. I have waited for this couch for 3 months. I ordered this couch 3 months ago, and it is finally getting delivered tomorrow morning. I am so excited. Anyways, I will talk to you guys.
You guys, look at her. This is the Sarah Ellison Muse couch. I have wanted this couch for so long, and she is now in my home. She is gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Hello, you guys. Y'all are a little crooked, but that's okay. I have finished Finding Jupiter by Khalees Rowe, and I'm going to go ahead and give this book 4 out of 5 stars. This was the perfect, Valentine's Day romance type of read for me. This is what I was in the mood to read. It just had everything that I wanted. It had the cuteness, it had the characters I enjoy, but it also had a plot, a good enough plot for you to follow. There was secrets, there was a little bit of lies and all of this stuff, and I just thought this was really well done. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's definitely the book I have enjoyed the most this vlog, but I enjoyed the last book really a lot too. I enjoyed them almost for the exact same reason. I just like this one a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 stars. But this was a perfectly good read, and it was a quick read. Wouldn't take you long. This is another book. If you see this book at a discount store, I haven't looked to see if it's on Kindle, but if you can get this book at a discount store at the library, it's a nice book to go ahead and pick up and check out. I enjoyed it. Updates on life. I finished that puzzle I showed you guys at the beginning of the video. Oh, let's take a look. The puzzle is complete. All it just took me was the entire week, which I think that's going to be my thing now. I think I'm just going to do a puzzle throughout the week. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't decided, because some weeks I'm just yeah, let's do a puzzle. Then there's other weeks I'm just can't be bothered. So maybe I'm just making up. Maybe I should just do a puzzle when I feel like doing a puzzle. Are you like that, where you have to turn everything into a thing instead of just letting things be what it's going to be? I can just let puzzles be what they want going to be. It don't have to be all of this. But I did have a really good time doing this puzzle. I actually need to go puzzle shopping. That's what I think I'm going to go do actually at this very moment. I'm going to go puzzle shopping. But because this is a Valentine's Day vlog, you guys, I have to go on my Valentine's Day date. So I actually, in about 30 minutes, need to go get ready, start doing my makeup and all of that stuff. It's pretty gloomy outside. It's a little rainy outside. So definitely want to wear something that will accommodate that. But we have one more book left in the vlog, and it is Some Other Now. When did this book come out? Because why do I feel like this book has just been on my bookshelf for a long time? This book came out in 2021, and that sounds recently, but in reality, that was 4 years ago. It feels like this book has been on my bookshelf for 4 years ago. It's so funny because of how quickly time moves, and I feel like we all don't really think about what year it actually is. A book that came out in 2020 is half a decade old. That means if you have books on your bookshelf from 2020 or books that came out before the pandemic, that book has been on your bookshelf for over a decade. People will be like, oh, this book came out in 2017. That wasn't that long ago. Yes, it was. That was 8 years ago. That is a very, very old book. Just think, if you were in the year 2019, okay, so if you were in the year like 2019 or 2020, you didn't think The Hunger Games just came out, did you? Like, no. So, like, why you think a book in 2017 just came out? Like, no, that's not how it works, baby. Them books is old. So you need to get either get rid of them or read them. Like, that's what I'm like. And like, this is a book that has been on my bookshelf for 4 years. Like, girl, it's time to read it. So that is what I am going to do. And then we're going to wrap this video up. I have a couple books I need to show you, like a book of the month book. Then I did like a couple books from Barnes & Noble I got online. And that is it. And that'll be the end of this vlog. So once I get through some of this, I will give you guys my thoughts. And then that'll be that on that, okay? Hello, you guys. I am here to give a start and finish update of the book Some Other Now. I do not have the book with me. I am not currently at my house, but I have finished this book to completion, and I need to come and give you my thoughts because this was the most bizarre reading experience of my life. So let me set the scene for you in this book. In this book, you are following this biracial girl who is a senior in college, and she is telling you about her life. And basically, she is not very close with her parents. Her parents gallivant around the world, and she kind of feels like she has been abandoned. So she has made a home with this other family in their community. There is these two boys. Their ethnicity seems to be very loose. We know that the mom is kind of Hispanic, and we don't really know much about their daddy. Their daddy ran off, but I'm gonna assume he's probably white. Anyway, so there's these two boys that she has taken up a home with. The mom has invited her into the home, and they have been friends for a really long time. She is basically like another member of this family. She loves this family. But the thing is, there is a boy by the name of Luke who is one of the boys. She has a crush on him. She has always had a crush on him. So this story is kind of like their love story, but the thing is, we are being told about these people through a before and after timeline. So it's like then and now. So you have a then storyline. A then storyline is where Luke and our main girl, her name is Jessie, they are friends and everything is going well. But there's been some issues with the other brother, Ronan. And so like things are going well. They start dating, but things slowly are starting to unravel, and they get some news that Mel, the mother, she is sick. She is sick with something we do not know. She is sick, and she's probably going to die. And that kind of starts the unraveling of this friendship. In the now storyline, we find out that there's even more horrible things going on. So you have her mother. Her mother is sick as well, but in recovery. Her parents have kind of stopped gallivanting because her mom got sick, and she's not close with the boys anymore. She's not close with Mel anymore. She didn't even know if Mel was alive. And then something has happened to one of the brothers. And so this whole thing is unraveling. But there's a fake dating storyline in the now where in order to give Mel, the mom, her dying wish, they're fake dating, so the mom thinks that like they end up together. It's a whole thing. And so like that's the setup of this story. This girl becoming a part of this family with this boy, these boys and a mother, and their friendship falling apart, their lives falling apart, but also in there being some love. The reason why I say this is the weirdest reading experience is because like you have no clue what's actually going on in this book, and I don't know if it's because of bad writing or it's just the way this book is written. When you switch from then and now, it is so confusing. Like the character drops little bits of information, and you're just like, what? Like information that literally takes the book in another direction, and you're just like, what the hell is going on? Another thing that's really weird about this book, this entire book rests on this idea that she's been taken in to this family, but like something about it feels really false. Like she's talking about how much these people mean to her, but it feels like she's imagining all of this stuff because nobody else seems that close to her. So these two boys who she is obsessed with, because it's giving obsession, it's giving she likes them way more than they like her. She's obsessed with these two boys, and you're reading the book and you have no clue as to why. She's in love with the Luke boy. There's this other boy who she they have a deep bond, and it's just like, but girl, it kind of feel like you just tag along with them. I understand that this book wanted to like drop us into these people's lives, but without us really getting like backstories of them being close, you get dropped into the story with them already having beef with each other. It's hard to see why she even likes these boys so much, why she cares so much about this family. Mel is sick from the very beginning, the mother. So you also don't get this like mother-daughter, found family vibes from that. It's really, really weird. Like Mel comes in and out of the story, and like our main character is telling us that like, oh my gosh, these people mean so much to me. It's just like we haven't seen it. What we've seen is that like at every turn, everybody has pushed you away. Everybody has pushed you away. There's just not enough flashbacks to like them being this tight-knit family, this like bond, this, like I said, found family. And something else that's really weird about this book, her mother is sick and nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn that her mother, like Mel is sick and she's so worried about Mel, but her own mother is sick with some illness, and our main character could give a damn. And the thing is, the story hasn't shown us enough that the mother has been a bad mother or has abandoned her. So it just feels like she's just really shitty to her mother. And once again, instead of focusing on her own life, she is focused on the life of these boys and this family. It's like really, really weird. Like, for example, the boys have their own aspirations. They swim, they're going to go off to college and all this stuff. And she's just sitting back like, yeah, I'm not going to college. Yeah, I'm going to stay in this town. It's just like, do you have anything of your own you want to do? It's just really weird. And another thing, back to the illnesses, this book keeps bizarre secrets from the reader. Like, there's valuable information that we as the reader kind of need to know for this story to come together and click, and it just keeps it from you. It just keeps the information from you. It just doesn't just come out and tell you stuff, and it's just really weird to read. That's the perfect word to describe reading this book. This book is just really weird. I don't think the before and after timelines are handled well. Spoiler alert, Luke and our main character Jesse get together in the before timeline and in the after timeline. And in the before timeline, it just happens. There's no build up. It's just we've known each other for a while. Let's be there. It's like, when have I seen these two people be attracted to each other? And their feelings for each other just go from hot to cold to this. There's no lead up. There's no build up, and everything is just really bizarre. I just found this book altogether really bizarre. So I'm gonna end up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's enjoyable enough. It has all types of mess, and there were moments in the book where I was like, oh, interesting, oh wow, I read it to the end. I never wanted to DNF it. It's just really melodramatic for a young adult book, and I just don't think that the author was fully able to tie everything in together to just make it a story that's really, really coherent. It was almost there, but the sentiments, the feelings wasn't where it needed to be for me. So this book was an odd one that I am going to give 3 out of 5 stars. And that's how we end the video, my friends. So I am going to be back in my office to wrap this video up, show you guys some books that I bought. And yeah, let's end this one. Peace. Hello, you guys. We are here to wrap up the video. We just spoke about Some Other Now, and we read 3 other books in this video. Everything was romance books. Everything was romance books written by Black people. My favorite book that we read in this video was Finding Jupiter. I found this to be a really good romance book about these 2 young Black kids. Just a good, fun time. I think you should pick it up. I also was very happy that I enjoyed a Christina Forrest book again. It has been a long time since I have enjoyed a Christina Forrest book. My favorite Christina Forrest book, I can finally show it to you physically, is I Want to Be Where You Are. I really adore this book. And now I get to say there's another Christina Forrest book that I really, really enjoy. So that is really good for me. And the first book that we read that I really did not like, and it's really unfortunate that I didn't like this book. I'm sitting here trying to find the book that I read by this author that I enjoyed. I read Business Not As Usual last year, and I really enjoyed this book. So I was expecting to like this book as well, and I just didn't. I wanted to be able to have both of these on my bookshelf and be like, a Black romance author that I enjoy. But I think in the end, I'm going to end up unhauling this book, which is really, really sad. That does not mean I won't pick up more books from this author, because I think this is an underrated romance book. I actually think more people should read this book. It was really good, but I was just hoping to be able to have a little bit more Black romance on my shelf, and that is not going to happen. But those are all of the books that we read in this video. If you are curious about picking any of these up, you should. I think all of them have something that maybe people would enjoy in them, even if they weren't for me. But a big thing I'm happy about, I'm not going to lie, is that most of these books have been sitting on my bookshelf for a minute, and I am just happy that they have been read. Like, oh my gosh, that feels good to know that I read all of those. So anyways, we need to open up some books together because I have some book purchases that I have made. So of course it is a new month, and that means I have a book of the month. Yes, I am doing book of the month for another year, but I will be honest with you, it's about time for me to do a book of the month video where I read all of my selections, because I think at this point now I have about 6 unread book of the month books, and it's kind of up in the air if I'm going to continue doing book of the month after this year, just because, like, am I getting to them? Am I reading them? I don't know. So anyways, I was really happy that this book was in book of the month, because this was a book that I was going to purchase on my own, and it is Good Dirt by Carmen Wilkerson. Is that how you pronounce her name? Carmen? I don't know. But this is from the same author that wrote Black Cake. I thought we as a culture moved beyond these types of covers, these like Black literary fiction covers where it's just a bunch of colors on the page, but I guess we have not, because Good Dirt is exactly the exact same thing. This little era came in during the Vanishing Half, so like I thought we were over this. We're like 4 years removed from this era, but I guess we are not. So yeah, this is from the exact same author. I am excited to read this book, even though I think the cover is hideous. Let's move on to some more books. I think I have 2 books. So I got a Barnes & Noble package that came in the mail. I think this is just like some lingering books that I got for 50% off. Nothing major, but let's see what they are. Let's see. So the first book we have is the Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. I have always wanted to read from this author. Currently on Kindle, I have this book, Truly Devious. I might try to read it in March. I wanted always to read from this author, and she started this like new series, and I just love this cover. I just love this cover. I found myself kind of enjoying YA mysteries whenever I pick them up. So this book was 50% off, which 50% off a book that already is only this book was $9. I got this book for $9, and I just thought, like, if it was already on your radar, Kenya, you might as well get to it. And so I did that. And then maybe a shocking choice, but like I want to see if I'm going to like this book. Lady Macbeth. I purchased Lady Macbeth by Ava Reed. Have I read an Ava Reed book? I do not know. This book came out last year, or maybe at the end of 2023. I think it came out last year. And like I saw a lot of people say they were going to read this book, but either people didn't read it or people read it and hated it and never talked about it. It definitely wasn't on anyone's like best of list. But once again, if you want to give me this book half off, I'm going to read it. Like, I'm going to read it if you're going to give me it to me for $14. I really like the cover, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Those are my book purchases, and that is the end of this video. I hope you all had an amazing Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys in the next one.